The final week of the 2019 season is upon us, and the Storm look to finish the year off on a high note when they host Luther on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Buxton Stadium. The theme of the week for Matt Jeter's squad is finish. We'll talk about it this time on Storm Football Weekly. And we're joined now, as always, by head coach Matt Jeter. Coach, hard to believe that we're already at this point in the season looking at the final game of the year coming up this Saturday at home. Before we do that, let's take a look back at Week 10. Another tough game on the road, loss at Loras, 38-20, a game that you had an early lead led by a couple of touchdowns, led 20-7, and then things kind of snowballed in the second half. For you, just give us a rundown of how the game went through your eyes.
Yeah, that's kind of been our nemesis, I think. The second half of the season, second half of the game, and playing really well. I think opportunity to take the lead going into halftime, and we take a sack there and end up pushing the field goal back to a 46-yard field goal, and we missed that. Then have some momentum moving the ball in the second half, and then we turn the ball over again. So I think. And this kind of snowballed from there. We just had to, I've been doing this a long time. It's tough to win games when you're -5, -6 in the turnover margin. And that's always been our philosophy here is to, run the ball, protect the football, get turnovers. And when we've had success, we win the turnover margin. We usually win here. And when we don't, we suffered a 38-20 loss to Loras.
So how do you get the team back on the right track now? How do you kind of rally the troops for that last game of the season? Because if nothing else, you want to send the seniors out on a high note, and you still want to get to that 500 mark, that 5-win mark on the season.
Yeah, right. I mean, we still got a game left, and I think we've got to attack it with that mode and competitive excellence and go out there and play a good game. And these seniors, man, are special to me because it's my first class, and they've done a lot for this program, for this program on and off the field. So, let's send these guys off on the right note with a good win on Saturday.
When you talk about that senior class, there are a couple names, handful of names that stand out in particular, but you talk about a couple of guys who are in the record books. One most recently entered the record books with a 3-touchdown performance last Saturday. Yeah. Sam Bartlett now has the all-time touchdown record, receiving record for touchdowns in a season. Talk about his impact coming back for his 5th year and being the best wide receiver in the American Rivers Conference.
Yeah. No, Sam's a war daddy for us, and I think I'm not surprised that he got that record. And his work ethic on and off the field, he's a guy that studies the film. He works his tail off in the weight room. He works his tail off in the classroom. He's not a list guy. He's never on a list for missing anything. He just lets his work speak for himself. So for him to come out like that and getting the record books here at Simpson College with 15 touchdowns and still has another game left to add on to that, I'm just excited for the kid. And there's no one more deserving of that record than Sam Bartlett.
And a couple of guys on the defensive side of the ball that come to mind. Michael Connor, conference MVP a year ago, another mainstay at the linebacker spot. And then, of course, Brendan Holmes, the safety, has the all-time career tackles leader now at Simpson, and he's also up there with 15 career picks. Yeah. What have those two guys meant to the defense?
Yeah, I mean, they've met everything. I think, I'm a defensive guy, defensive-minded coach, so, I think wanting to build that with playing hard-nosed, tough defense and then being able to run the ball and get turnovers has kind of been our mindset since we've been here. And the biggest thing I can say about those guys is that they've been consistent. Holmes has played he's played in 39 games since he's been here. And he's been a staple in 16 all the way through 19. And then, with Michael Connor getting his 5th year and coming back, again, I think he's pushing up towards the, 300 tackles too as well. So those guys have, they've been consistent, but they've also been able to put themselves in position to make those type of plays. The interceptions, the tackles, the sacks, and those type of things. So those guys are, type of players that you could build a program with.
Last week's over. I know you've flushed that by now, and you're looking ahead to Luther, your opponent this week. Team is coming off a 35-34 win over Nebraska Wesleyan a week ago. Luther's a team you kind of know what you're going to get. They're going to run the ball 50-plus times, top rushing team in the league. What do you see out of the Norse on film?
Man, they're tough. They're tough. When you watch them on film, they play hard. They play whistle to whistle, and they do a great job. They fly around the ball on defense, and they pound the ball. Their running backs run hard on offense, and like you said, their record's a little deceiving when you watch them play. And I think one of the things, I watch those running backs, and, man, they run hard, and, it takes 2 or 3 guys to get those guys down. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough battle for us on Saturday. We got to be they still have some triple option principles, dive, quarterback, pitch. So we still have to be very disciplined on the defensive side of the ball with our gap control and our gap integrity, but also our eyes on the back end. They're trying to get those 5 or 6 explosive plays, getting you guys, suck you on the run, and then try to hit the big pass over top. So we got to be disciplined in our assignments, in our eyes on Saturday on defense.
What's the key to victory on Saturday? What do you have to do right away to get things going?
Yeah, we got to get out to a fast start, and prior to that, we got to finish. I think if that's one word I would hang our hat on this week, is finish. We haven't finished drives, finished tackles, finished quarters, finished halves. Those type of things. We just got to finish the game, and when adversity comes, or whatever comes, we got to finish and stay the course, and then we got to get back on the horse. We got to finish this thing off.
Let's finish the season on a high note and build some momentum into next season.
Yep.
All right. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Kickoff's at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Buxton Stadium against Luther. It's senior day. If you can't be there in person, you can always watch online at SimpsonAthletics.com.